Saying they got Jim Carey. Is that the real Jim Carey? So, is that the real Jim Carey? Actor breaks silence. This comes from India Times, of course. After hyper realistic makeup artist mask post goes viral. This is when Alexis Stone, the makeup artist, had actually posted the mask on the Instagram. Jim Carrey's appearance at the 51st Caesar Awards in Paris was meant to mark a celebratory milestone in his career. He was getting the Lifetime Achievement Award. As the actor accepted the honorary Lifetime Achievement, Caesar D'Honor, I think that's it right there, D'Honor, instead, clips from the red carpet in his post-ceremony remarks ignited a wave of online speculation about his appearance, quickly spiraling into clone theories, body double claims, and a viral social media storm that has since taken on a life of its own. As footage circulated, questions about whether the man at the event was really Carey began trending across platforms, drawing in a high-profile drag performer known for hyper-realistic celebrity transformations, and separately an AI-generated video falsely attributed to Carey's daughter. Jim Carrey's representative has since responded, emphatically confirming that the actor did attend the event in person. So this is the Caesar Awards appearance that sparked the frenzy. Carey, 64, attended the 51st Caesar Awards in Paris and received the honorary Lifetime Achievement. Caesar D'Honor, after accepting the award, he spoke to reporters in a video that quickly circulated online. It's a wonderful feeling. I'll just push up the video here. Oh, actually, no. That looks like Jimmy Kimmel. So I have it here. I have it here. Somewhere. Oh, I gotta go down. Actually, no, I don't. No, no. No, no. Because I had put it up here. Put it up here.
Well, multiple sources, meanwhile, are confirming that the rumors are false. Jim Carrey did, in fact, accept his award in France last week. This is interesting. So, some people were speculating that a look-alike took his place, but multiple sources, meanwhile, are confirming that the rumors are false. Jim Carrey did, in fact, accept his award in France last week. This is interesting. So, some people were speculating that a look-alike took his place, but Carrey's representative, along with the award show's general delegate, they're saying it was indeed him on stage. Now, the confusion may come from a post by drag artist Alexis Stone, who shared a photo of himself wearing a mask and a wig captioned Alexis Stone as Jim Carrey in Paris. Again, you can't believe everything you see online, but I also kind of see what they're trying to say.
And see, this is where I said, oh, they used this because everybody started to notice. They utilized that because everybody started to notice. This nigga got Botox. Jim Carrey don't do no fucking Botox. That's when I started to say, wait, who the hell is that? That's who the fuck is that? Because Jim Carrey don't look like that. Jim Carrey don't look like that at all. At all. Just look at 2020. We're not even gonna look at 2025 Jim Carrey. Look at 2020 fucking 4 Jim Carrey. And you tell me this the same person. Look at 2024 Jim Carrey. This is 2 years ago. This is 2 years ago. Oh, I didn't mean to click on that. We talking about 2 years ago. You mean to tell me that he gonna look completely different with some Botox and some slick back hair? Like he from the mob already? And these are different events. By the way, look at this. These are all different times of Jim Carrey. I'm putting 2025. I put in 2025, right? There's a plastic surgeon that weighed in on it. That's funny. But look, even this 2014. Okay, so why would they try to do this? This is what I didn't want people to do, right? Because the same thing I was going to do with Kai Cenat for people. You got to look at recent years. You cannot look at 10-year differences. This is an 11-year difference. Of course, he's going to look completely different. But you can't use 11-year difference pictures. You would have to use something that is, like I said, 2 to 3, maybe even 4 years max. Not even 5. You have to use something that's like maybe 4 years max as far as comparisons are concerned. And I like looking at different angles of pictures like this, right? Because that's when you can really say, okay, this is not that person. And the other way you can also tell of the doubles, right? Of when they have the clone of you. It's not just, oh, we can tell in the eyes, because that was another big thing, right? Like even in this one, visibly, right? Jim Carrey has brown eyes. Yeah, he has brownish eyes. He doesn't have green eyes. And they were saying in this other one, he has light green eyes, and it's like that's not Jim Carrey at all because they looked at the eyes. I was like, okay, that's one thing you could look at, but at the same time, the other detail you could look at is the mass of the person. What I mean by that is, I'm glad that they try to use, like I said, this picture right here, right? Because it is kind of a good example. It's kind of a good example in the sense that, remember Dave Chappelle? Remember when everybody said Dave Chappelle was a clone? Right? Dave Chappelle was one of the first ones everybody was like, no, they cloned that nigga. They was like, they cloned that nigga. Because at first he looked like this, and then he came back looking like this swole motherfucker here. And we said, who is this? we all said, who is this nigga? We was like, where did this Dave go? Where did this nigga go? And who is this buff motherfucker that started walking around doing Dave Chappelle comedy? Who is this nigga? Where the fuck did this Dave go? where did young Dave go? It's like, yeah, people get older. We understand that. People get older, yes. But people don't change up their entire motherfucking look. That's the biggest thing that we all take notice to. That's why I said you can tell by the mass of the person. And it's like, oh, maybe they just stopped using drugs. No. Dave Chappelle ain't stopped smoking weed. Dave Chappelle ain't stopped smoking weed. Maybe he started eating better. But no. And then it gets dismissed with Dave Chappelle later on. But we talking about the same Dave Chappelle that joked about slipping on shit at a baby party, at a Diddy party. And of course, he said he didn't see anything or he left before everything went crazy. So I'm not saying that he was, doing things at a Diddy party, but I'm saying that he's made the politically incorrect jokes and always has been able to get away with it. That's not for no reason. That's because the new Dave Chappelle is very compliant. Compared to what this Dave Chappelle is, or should I say, this Dave Chappelle was that sat on Oprah and told us, hey, Martin Lawrence was not crazy. He told you on Oprah, Martin Lawrence wasn't crazy. They came to me during the blue streak, with Martin Lawrence, and they came to the trailer, tried to put me in a dress, I said, no, get that shit out of here. So they came back 5 minutes later with a brand new script. Said, all right, you ain't got to address. He's like, huh? So Dave Chappelle, and then, of course, the money he turned down, and then he went to Africa, quote unquote, right? Supposedly went to Africa. Him being in the Sonic movies felt off to me. Hasn't been the same since his wife passed away. See, that's the thing, right? And I said to myself, okay, when exactly would Jim have been changed, right? So I started looking at 2023 Jim Carrey. And I started to really notice the difference in between the Jim Carrey we see here, should I say, right? The Jim Carrey we see right here, and this Jim Carrey.
Jim, can I get a picture, please? Grab onto me. Jim, can I get a picture? Jim, can I get a picture?
I'm bring context. This is 14 years ago, okay? So this is around the time they were talking about before. But I just want you to look at certain mannerisms of Jim.
I can't. I'll get hit, man. I'll get hit. Jim, come on.
Just 2 years later.
Jim, sign a couple, Jim. Jim, don't forget about us over here, Jim. Hold on, don't stop pushing. Don't touch the gate. Can I stand here?
Just 2 years later. Now, this one's just 8 years ago. So this is way more recent.
Hey Jim, how you doing?
Hey Jim. Hold on, I got a couple of guys.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Hey Jim, I was one of them too.
Right down here. Where are you from, man? Michigan?
I'm from
School, Michigan, though.
Oh yeah.
This is the part where I wanted you to notice. So, let me see. Is this picture here, right? See what the hair is? The nose, cheeks. These three things I want you to notice in this look right here. Notice the difference? And it's the same slick back hair in a sense, right? Hair length. Completely different. Hair length is completely different. Nose shape, different. Cheeks. See how these cheeks look like they got fucking Botox in them? Look at these. Look at the hairline. Structure in the face. Fuck the eyes. The entire face is different. And if we really want to talk about the eyes are the window to the soul. So we're talking about somebody with green eyes and damn it look like they got slits in them in this picture right here. And this is a still. Versus this brown eyed guy here.
From Michigan.
Right over here.
Thanks, Jim.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Clearly not green eyes.
You get this one.
Hold on 1 second, guys.
Thanks.
Next one, I want to get you, and I want to get you.
Thanks so much, Jim.
And you too.
Yeah. That's a long run. Out of shape.
No, it's
I'll go further. I'll go further. Go a little further. (2020). Actually, no, 2019. 2019. Oh, this is a better one. Let me see. What year is this? This is even better. This is a much better one because this is again where I said, okay, we can really see the difference. Okay, so what year was this one? What year was this one? This can't be 25. The Red Thursday One fans just couldn't stop cheering for Jim Carey. No, what year was this picture though? What year did he have this beard is what I'm trying to figure out. Because this says June 2025. If this is him in June 2020, if this is him in June 2025, you can't be serious. You can't be serious. Let me show you what I'm looking at real quick. Apparently, he said years ago that if you ever see him acting on mainstream again, he would say it's not him. Yes, I want to play that clip here in just a second. But this, I'm trying to figure out if this was 2025 or not. I don't think it was. I'm thinking this was around 2022 or 3 right here, where he has the beard. Because in this picture here, he says he's growing a beard till he goes back to work. And I remember the ASCAP thing was around 2022, 2023, where they had the writers strike for everybody. But yeah, 2023 Jim Carey. Okay, so yeah, I was right. 2023 is when he grew the beard. And this is, again, when we look at him, we can definitely see, again, the difference in between this guy and that guy that got the award. Now, we can dismiss it as, oh, maybe he just got a good clean shave. But again, I want you to look at facial structure. Look how thin, narrow this damn head is compared to this guy again. It is a completely different person. Why is the picture not coming up? God damn it. Completely different person. If you look at the head structure of this person and even just this person, it's the completely different head shape. Shit, pause. Even longer neck. His neck is even fucking longer. Where the fuck did his neck go in this picture? Don't tell me you all of a sudden just put on this much damn weight in 2 years, Jim. And like I said, like I said, the nose you can tell. Like, I don't want to hear anything about. You know what? Let me just play these clips right here. And let me just get to the clips right here. Because Jim been telling y'all. He been telling y'all.
It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati. You're a part of it. It is the all-mocking tongue.
Jim Carey was called crazy after this interview, but what led him to
It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati. You're a part of it. It is the all-mocking tongue.
Jim Carey was called crazy after this interview, but what led him to say these things?
I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower.
During the late years of his career, the actor gained notoriety due to his controversial and strange answers in interviews.
I don't believe that you exist. There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
Many fans were worried about him, as much of his answers were considered pessimistic or too existential.
It means we're all going nowhere. It's a big pageant of nothing rising out of nothing and happening for no one.
In November 2014, he was invited to Jimmy Kimmel Live, where he made a series of intriguing symbols.
Please say hello to Jim Carey.
Carey went on to explain a conspiracy theory in which the Illuminati control all the media.
For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh.
He even made a dig at Apple after pretending to be mind-controlled through his phone.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I was temporarily interrupted by my iPhone 6 Plus.
Some of them said these comments were all part of a joke played by the comedian. But soon after, there were rumors online suggesting that Carey's Illuminati conspiracy came as a result of his newly found religious and political beliefs.
I've had some challenges in the last couple of years myself, and ultimately, I believe that suffering leads to salvation.
The actor was allegedly dissatisfied with his way of life.
Spend your first half of your life acquiring and thinking you can add to yourself, but it's not where happiness comes from.
Carey began to open up to a spiritual life where he could learn to cope with resentment.
Which leads to vengeance, which leads to self-harm, which leads to harm to others.
Eventually, he followed the leadership of Eckhart Tolle, a spiritual guide who had also helped Oprah Winfrey in her spiritual journey.
I woke up and I suddenly got it. I was thrown into this expansive, amazing feeling of freedom.
Under Tolle's supervision, Carey argues he learned how to step away from the concept of ego.
I used to think Jim Carey is all that I was, just a flickering light.
These new beliefs have allegedly taught him a new way to see life.
I used to be a guy who was experiencing the world, and now I feel like the world and the universe experiencing a guy.
From that point onward, the actor began spreading his unusual philosophy around the world.
All there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear.
After years of appearing less and less on the screen, Carey finally called it quits.
Well, I'm retiring, but
Are you being serious or are you screwing with me?
I'm being fairly serious, yeah.
The reason behind this decision, he was content with his life.
And this is something you might never hear another celebrity say as long as time exists. I have enough. I've done enough. I am enough.
However, it has been recently confirmed that the actor will return to play his character Dr. Robotnik in the third installment of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise.
Are you in charge here?
Yes, I am. Wrong. I'm in charge.
It is uncertain whether Jim Carrey will appear in more films in the future.
Parts find you at the moment when you're ready for them, and this what happened here.
Since
I've learned that news and I heard 3, I said, okay, here we go with the 3 again. Masonic meaning of completion. Rumors of body doubles. Possibly last movie, right? We've heard this before. Are we trying to say that something is going to happen possibly to Jim Carrey within the next year or two? I'll let y'all be the guess.
His viral interview with Jimmy Kimmel, the comedian has not made any further comments about the Illuminati, nor what led him to.
So, real quick, I want to play this video called The Message, Jim Carrey's Message from the Illuminati.
And click a thingy and go.
But everything I'm doing, everything that's happening right now around this is about the same thing. It's all about identity. It's because that's all there is. I think it's the most important thing in the world.
Brown is best known for The Da Vinci Code, one of the best-selling novels of all time. His books have sold more than 200 million copies around the world.
His latest Called Origin features the return of symbologist Robert Langdon. This time, he's trying to unlock a discovery that will help answer 2 fundamental questions of human existence. Where do we come from, and where are we going?
As an actor, you play characters, and then if you go deep enough into those characters, you realize that your own character is pretty thin to begin with. You know? And then you suddenly have this separation and go, well, who's Jim Carrey? Oh, he doesn't exist, actually.
When you talk about artificial intelligence, because the character Winston...
Oh, he doesn't exist, actually. Really, Jim? You've been telling us all along.
was so good, Dan. I had to keep flipping back to make sure, are we sure this guy's not a human?
Right.
He was so real in the way that he thought and the way that he behaved. What is the message you're trying to send to us there? Because after a while, it scared me a little bit that the guy was so
clear to me that I thought I knew him.
I do believe in manifestation, power of that kind of stuff, but I don't believe that any of it matters. You know, this mattering is to me a human construct, born out of a need, the same need as you have to have, you know, deities and things like that. I mean, I believe in an energy of God, an energy of, you know, everything is divine. You know, there's no thing that isn't divine. Everything is divine, and I'm that. I'm not the body. I'm you guys, and I'm this thing, and I'm this thing, and I'm the cameras, and it doesn't matter to me what's happening on them.
This is great. Origin, the fifth novel, right, in this
it is.
Robert Langdon series, and it focuses on this question we talked about, but how God will survive science.
Is our culture the best role model for a new consciousness, a new intellect? If it learns to be like we are, you know, it's going to learn a lot of compassion, but it could also learn a lot of self-centered evil.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that part? So pretty much, we talked about this before, on how they collect data on us, right? And how that data is transferred into what they are trying to do later on. Or I should say, the data is pretty much broken down for them to understand how we think, our future thoughts, how we think about our past thoughts and memories and things like that, our habits and tendencies and things of that nature. They use this data to also make pretty much like the Neo robot that's going around right now, right? Everybody's talking about the Neo robot. Pretty much iRobot is now here, if you want to be real. iRobot is pretty much now here with the Neo robot. You being able to purchase a personal assistant robot in your home today, okay? That is on the market today, all right? Like the newest iPhone. With that data that they take upon you, they are putting into that and transferring it into these hybrid humanoid robots. But they are also putting that same data and information into the clones that they are making, right? That is what Jim is referring to.
Life isn't happening to you; it's happening for you know, for the good of everyone. It's just it's a play. It's a giant, you know, field of consciousness dancing for itself, and you're here to make me happy, and or to kind of, it's making itself happy. You know, it's like one soul. That's how I feel. I feel like, you know, people say, well, I have a soul. You don't have a soul. There's no you, but I feel like there is a soul, and it includes everything.
Maybe an existential out-of-body experience, perhaps, for Jim Carey, or something else interfering with his mind.
I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself. And I don't care.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No,
Was that an accident?
I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream?
It's just things happening.
I'm finding that ultimately the freedom from it is something people are kind of hungry for in a way. Right. They're like, I don't want to be me either.
Right.
You know, and I go, well, great, because you never have been.
Right. Has this always been the case? Like, deep down, is that been something that you've always thought of, or is that a shift?
The knowledge has been evolving, you know, and I had to, I believe that I had to become a famous, you know, idea.
Yeah.
And get all the stuff that people dream about, and accomplish a bunch of things that you know, that look like success, in order to give up my attachment to those things. It's been part of the evolution of ego is to spend your first half of your life acquiring and adding, thinking you can add to yourself, and it looks great. I mean, it looks great when you got a cool car and you got nice clothes, and you know, and you've done something that people admire, you know, but it can never fulfill you. You can never be happy. You know what I mean? It's not where happiness comes from.
There aren't too many people who this guy can't make laugh. He starred in over 40 films, and we all have our favorite. Yes, from The Mask to the cable guy.
Hello, Mama.
Liar, liar, Batman Forever.
Joygasm!
Bruce Almighty, Yes Man. Dumb and Dumber.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
The Truman Show. Me, Myself, and Irene. Then the more serious, number 23. And of course, the one that pretty much started it all, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Did you have any trouble getting in?
No, the guy with the rubber glove was.
You know, you're talking about like Jim Carrey the man, Jim Carrey the performer. Are you more comfortable as one or the other, or is that like, are they even mutually exclusive?
I don't exist. So they're all characters that I've played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters.
It told us the story of a man who stepped through his life from a child to becoming a hugely successful comedian, also with appearances on Saturday Night Live and David Letterman.
I was just playing bad guy wrestler, you know, and it's just a role. It's not me.
Jim Carrey was a less intentional character,
right?
Because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character, you know. So it's, you know, I played the guy that was free from concern, so that people who watched me would be free from concern, you know. And then at a certain point, you go like, okay, well, that's great. And I thought I had become Andy Kaufman, but there was no me actually at the end of it all. I realized that there was, you know, that this character was making choices to play a character. And, you know, so that's what kind of happened, and that's what Chris found in this interview and in this footage, that there was actually a existential, not a crisis, but a discovery going on, you know?
There's been a lot of talk in the last few days, well, today or recently, about
a lot of people making sound over here.
So much of that.
That's right.
People talking about an interview that you did at New York Fashion Week, and you talked about
I've
identity.
covered a lot of fashion weeks. This is the first time I've run into Jim Carrey. Wait, tell me, is it true you're wandering the streets? You need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, you know, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
I mean, you got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons,
in
boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, you know, possibility that we could come up with.
It's every actor's job to be brave, to take chances and risk this, whatever this is.
Carey scored a Golden Globe Award for his performance.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And is thrilled to be revisiting the role.
God, man, woman, dog.
Let's go to entertainment now. Comedian Jim Carey has been forced to explain a bizarre interview he gave at New York Fashion Week just days ago.
Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry? You're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut it down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that.
Do you think that people kind of just don't understand it, or they haven't clued in to this whole thing you're talking about of people wearing masks?
I think that we're all, you know, we're all trying to add things to ourselves so that we can finally define ourselves, and then everybody will get us and they'll go, okay, this is what you are. And then if you actually get there, you will find it so empty that you'll realize that's really not what it's about. It's about not only, you know, just going with the flow, but it's about not taking it personal, you know? It's like the difference between a house and my house is a world of difference, and it's the my that's the problem, you know? So you can do all this without the my involved.
There's just a relative manifestation of consciousness appearing and then somebody gave him a bunch of ideas. They gave him a name and a religion and a nationality, and he clustered those together into something that's supposed to be a personality.
The happy place is realizing that you're everything, you know, and that there's no real you involved in the first place. Yeah, it's a weird little semantic jump that you make where it sounds like, well, that's totally threatening, man. I can't not be me. I've built this construct.
Yeah.
You know, from the time I was given a name, and it's just ideas. Right. They're just ideas. You know, the only thing that separates you from an African American or an African Canadian is an idea. You know, and the weather. Right. You know, and the adaptation to the climate. And whatever it is, I don't believe in any of it.
This is a kind of a recurring theme in all of these books of science and religion, God and technology, and it's a kind of a personal journey to try to reconcile the two against each other.
And one of the things too you talk about is artificial intelligence and where that takes us.
Yeah.
You delve in. It's not only just a great thriller. You really kind of challenge the mind.
The story begins with a brilliant futurist who has made a discovery that he believes will undermine the foundations of world religion.
I had to learn a lot about AI to write this book, and these are exciting times. The world is changing very, very quickly, and there's a lot happening that's going to pose some big ethical dilemmas that we're going to have to deal with. Yeah. AI is something that fascinates me deeply, mainly because scientists they can't agree on whether it's going to save us or kill us. A lot of scientists feel that we're on the verge of a new renaissance, that AI will solve the big problems of humanity: scarcity, overpopulation, pollution, and yet a lot of scientists feel that it's so powerful it will destroy us. And as evidence, they remind us that our species has never created a technology that we have not weaponized, and it would be naive to think that AI will be any different.
Trying to tell you, we're all about to be replaced. Subconsciously, we are all about to be replaced. That is the real war that is going on outside. We are all about to be replaced systematically.
But Dan, you also said something interesting to me, that with religion, we're always looking up. And in this era of the smartphone, we're always looking down.
We are. And that was a fascinating thing, to talk to both scientists and theologians while researching this book, and understanding that technology is changing the way we interact as humans. And, you know, when I grew up, my miracles were the virgin birth, the resurrection. And nowadays, you talk to most kids about the resurrection, and it doesn't really register.
Yeah.
Their miracles are whatever Snapchat can do this week, or whatever the new iOS can do. And it's funny, we were talking earlier about this idea that technology has given everybody with an iPhone an international publishing deal instantly.
Instantly.
A platform.
Instantly.
Right.
A platform. And it used to be that there was a vetting process to information that rose to the surface. You're in the news, you understand that.
There's no filter.
You're right.
Last things I wanted to share with you guys is this right here from Truth Is, who pretty much breaks down what really happened to Jim Carey in a nutshell here.
Jim Carey just set the internet ablaze, showing up to the 2026 Caesar Awards in Paris looking completely unrecognizable. Look at the hair, look at the jawline, and even the eye color. The change is so drastic that the comment sections are already convinced the real Jim Carey is gone. They're saying he was swapped out for a copy after speaking out against the industry, disposed of and replaced by a vessel that looks and acts nothing like the man we knew. But is this what's really going on? Or is there a much darker explanation for this? What I've discovered suggests that while the body might be the same, the man inside has undergone a deep mythical transformation that is literally rewriting his biology. Today, we're revealing the truth behind Jim Carrey's transformation, and by the end of this, you will never see him the same way again.
They're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey, including Joe Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. You know, Jim Carrey was a less intentional character because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character.
There's no meaning to any of this, so I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist.
Because there is no me, no self. Jim Carrey is gone, actually never existed, and I know that now.
For the last decade, we've watched Jim Carrey spiral into what many called madness, showing up to red carpets claiming Jim Carrey didn't exist, making strange hand gestures on Kimmel while jokingly suggesting everyone in Hollywood belongs to a secret club. Most people saw this as Carrey being wild or eccentric, but a huge part of the internet saw something else. They saw a man turning his back on the industry and exposing its secrets. But let's be real, if Carrey was truly exposing anything, would he still be the face of a billion-dollar franchise like Sonic the Hedgehog? Hollywood doesn't reward exposure with leading roles. They reward it with a permanent blackball. The truth is actually much stranger. In reality, Carrey isn't exposing the industry. He's revealing his own deep involvement in its most hidden practices. Those unusual behaviors everyone has witnessed, they were in a rebellious movement. They were a part of the physical transformation we saw in Paris. And I'm not just talking about plastic surgery or fillers. I'm talking about a secret esoteric practice that Jim Carrey himself admitted to practicing. I want to warn you, some of this stuff is going to sound unbelievable. That's why I suggest you stick around to the very end and hear the full story before you flat out reject it. There is no way you can deny that Jim Carrey has gone through a complete facial transformation. If we back, the inconsistent that was nowhere to be seen in 2020 and wider, creating that puffy or pillowy effect that was nowhere to be seen in 2024. His jawline, once rugged and chiseled, now looks feminized. The transition from his ear to his chin is smoother, less aggressive, and almost porcelain. Then
These are all the things that I pointed out to you guys about the facial structure of certain things. But this is what we are digging into in detail now.
2024. His jawline, once rugged and chiseled, now looks feminized. The transition from his ear to his chin is smoother, less aggressive, and almost porcelain. Then we have to talk about his eyes. Carrey has famously dark, prominent brown eyes, but in the 2026 Paris footage, they appear light hazel, gray, or even green under the stage light. Combine that with his shoulder-length jet black hair and his sudden ability to deliver a 14-minute speech in fluent French, and you have a man that claims to be Jim Carrey, but physically is unrecognizable. Now the skeptics will say it's just Botox and fillers. They'll just say he just bought new contacts and a bottle of hair dye. This wasn't random nonsense. It was actually a clue to decoding all of this. To understand what's really happening, we have to go back to when his death actually started, and the secret esoteric practice Jim admitted he was deeply involved in. Jim Carrey has openly admitted to being deep into the esoteric side of Gnosticism. Now, many people hear him talk about Jesus and assume he's following modern religion.
You made the decision to walk through the gate of forgiveness, to grace, just as Christ did on the cross. He suffered terribly, and he was broken by it.
But they're wrong. Carrey is into an ancient esoteric form of Christianity that goes back centuries. The core of this belief is that a human can become a transcendental perfected being through a process called the Great Work. And Jim didn't just study this, he admitted to practicing the most secretive part of it, the sacred secretion. In a rare interview, Jim describes a monthly psychological process where a seed, an internal oil called the chrism, is released from the brain and travels down the spine. The goal of this is to save this energy through voluntary abstinence and specific tantra techniques. If you don't waste this power, it returns to the pineal gland, decalcifying the third eye and literally recharging the biological body.
About alchemical sexual alchemy. Do you know that the story Jesus, how it's been altered in certain ways? I mean, yes, there was a guy, yes, there was teachings, all that stuff, but there's 33 vertebrae in your spine. There's 33 years in the life of Jesus. Okay, there is a substance or liquid or a substance that comes from your medulla, which is basically completely looks like the Ark of the Covenant, has angel's wings around it, the whole thing. Medulla shape. Now, is this one like? So this substance comes from your medulla, makes the trip down your spine to your sacrum, which is Christ coming down into human form.
You hear that, Cherie?
And if you don't squander that essence, that sexual essence, it ascends again and goes back up to heaven, which is your thing. It's also the story of Santa Claus. What comes?
Notice how he's breaking down the different, what do you call it? The different deities of ideology in worship. Jesus, Santa, correlating with the 33. How the universe is connected to you. Your vertebrae to your pineal gland to your brain. More detailed. This isn't necessarily Scientology here as much as it's talk about more neurology.
Down the chimney is because this juice or this whatever substance actually passes what's called the claustrum, is where they got Santa Claus. So it goes down the chimney and back up. I think he probably saved it, you know, so that he could be clear, so that he could be sharp. Actually, you know what Gnosticism is really about? Gnosticism is really about?
People who believe in this biological alchemy claim it produces 3 undeniable physical results: skin rejuvenation, a waxy porcelain glow, eye vitality, a change in the fire or even the literal color of the iris, and cellular youth, a total reversal of the aging process. Jim Carey admitted to this process himself, and this is exactly why his 2026 look is so jarring. By balancing his internal masculine and feminine energies, he has physically manifested the divine androgyne, a state where the hard, jagged edges of manhood melt away into something much more fluid, serene, and unrecognizable. To understand why Jim looks the way he does now, you have to look at the last decade of his life through the lens of Gnosticism. He has been performing a 3-step occult ceremony, the magnum opus, right in front of your eyes. Most people see a midlife crisis. I see a man meticulously following an alchemic blueprint for transformation. Stage 1 was the Negrado, the blackening. This is the rotting of the ego. In 2015, the silly, cheerful Jim Carey died. He grew that heavy gray beard and told E! News, "There is no me. We're just a cluster of tetrahedrons moving together." He looked haggard and dark because the lead of his old life was being burned away. Stage 2.
Can you be a travel advisor without quitting?
Libido, the whitening. The ego is dead, so the vessel must be washed. During this period, Jim retreated into his arts, talking about Christ consciousness and integration. This is when his face started to change. The jagged masculine lines began to soften as he integrated what Gnostics called the anima, the internal feminine. The rebuto, also known as the reddening, which is the stage of rebirth. The man who stepped onto that stage in Paris is the rebus, the divine androgen. This is why his features are unrecognizable. He has traded a rugged masculine structure for a luminous feminized look. Now, is this all plastic surgeries and colored contacts? It's likely. In fact, I think most of it is. But here's the reality. I believe he got those surgeries because he truly believes he has reached enlightenment. He wants his physical face to reflect the perfected vessel he thinks he's become. To the world, it looks like a cult mumbo jumbo. But to Jim, he's been telling us exactly what he's been doing for 10 years. He wasn't silenced. And he wasn't replaced by a copy. He replaced himself. If you look across Hollywood in 2026, Carey isn't the only one softening. We are seeing a massive wave of high-level men in the industry adopting this androgynous aesthetic. They tell you it's fashion. They tell you it's breaking gender norms. But in the world of the occult, it's about power. By merging the masculine and feminine, they believe they're tapping into a primordial energy that the average person can't access. They aren't trying to be women, they're trying to be gods. Carey, like many others, have been narrating this process right in front of us. This enlightenment comes with a price. To achieve the great work, you have to sacrifice your humanity. You become unrecognizable to the people who loved you. Jim Carey was never against the industry. He was deeply involved in the industry's religion. When Carey showed up to Kimmel making those triangle hand gestures and telling everyone the game is up.
Is that a gang sign? Have you, oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know, Jimmy Fallon doesn't know, David Letterman doesn't know, all the comics and show business don't know what this is. Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it. Secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it for years now. Talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcom have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile, so you don't know what's really going on.
He wasn't calling out Hollywood. He was admitting his participation. Look at his hands again. In Gnosticism, the eye in the triangle isn't just an occult symbol. It's the pineal gland, the very organ Jim says is being recharged by the sacred secretion. He wasn't mocking a secret club. He was mocking you for not seeing what was right in front of you. He was pretty much telling us he was a part of it too. Now fast forward to the Paris award show. Jim Carey steps onto that stage looking like a complete different person. Out of nowhere, he began speaking fluent French. While everyone was focused on his appearance, they didn't realize what he was saying is what truly mattered. He told the audience that his ancestor was a square, but tonight, he was coming full circle. This is the oldest alchemic riddle in history, squaring the circle. It means the physical, the square, has finally been merged with the spiritual. And if you look at the symbol for the great work, you understand what he means by this. He saw all of this years ago. While The Truman Show seems to be a movie about a man finding out his whole life is a lie, designed for a reality show, in reality, the movie is a full Gnostic story. The whole movie was meant to represent Truman's Gnostic awakening, finding out that his life is a lie, and through the practices of Gnosticism, he was going to free himself from the Matrix. I won't go too deep into this here, but maybe a deep dive.
So remember how, what should I say? Notice how The Truman Show is very similar to how streaming is nowadays, isn't it? People are streaming their everyday lives 24/7, being watched 24/7. And even to put it in, in better conclusion and detail here, how the movie was actually just all about enlightenment. The movie was always about enlightenment and you reaching a different level of completion. That's what it really was. The original Big Brother, yes. So you heard Alex Stone admit, yes. And that was one of the more, the crazy thing is, we had talked about it in the beginning, the crazy thing is that news came out because so many people had started to notice that that was a completely different Jim Carrey. So many people had started to notice that this was a completely different Jim Carrey that we were looking at here. That's the only reason that Alexis Stone news came out. And then his reps, of course, had to slam the news and just say, all right, listen, the jig is up. That really was Jim Carrey. Now it's on mass confusion. Now it's mass confusion time once again. See, I was talking about this with someone in the car. It's so many different forms and ways of distracting you. Even with the war that's going on right now, and I'm showing you different things at the PSYOP of the world war going on, right? There's different ways to distract the mind to where you'll never even be able to journey into that dimension where you can actually see these reptilians, where you can actually see who we actually are beyond the matrix that we're actually inside right now. It's so many different forms of distraction to cloud your mind. It's because of that. They don't want you to ever free your mind. And, maybe, just maybe, a part of it might be for our own good. Because what if we were able to see beyond the matrix and we were able to see these reptilians and we were able to see other things in the universe? To some people, their minds aren't ready to be free. But then there's the few like us that, some of us are. Not suicidal. Not suicidal. I'm not suicidal. Not suicidal. Anyway,